Today is the 4th of December 2019, Wednesday. As you can see, I don't have really much space to work with here. This is where a pop-out section will be at, as you'll see coming up. The pop-out section there, but it's just out of barely reach to work comfortably without getting your rib cage. So I'm opting to do this section first. It's also my practice, my vision, how I want it to look, and how I'm going to get it to look that way. And it's turned out pretty nice. Enjoy, guys.
Okay, here's where I left you guys off last time. The mock-up. I did the framework out of 1x3s and 1x2s and lath boards and a brad nailer. The little tripod shape is going to be the pop-out area. That'll have the rock crusher and the pond on that. And I did some the haul road up there and a little ledge on top. And I just used a regular razor knife and chipped away. This stuff is a mess, but you just gotta suck it up and drive on, and the results are outstanding. But you gotta use a shop vac. The static electricity and those little bits of foam will get you. The white foam is a little bit softer. You can use a wire brush on that if you want a different effect. It does but there again, it makes a lot of mess. But the blue foam doesn't scratch as easy with the wire brush, but they both divot as well pretty good. So, and I'm boxing in the haul road there, putting some slopes on it. Scratch those up with a knife. That'll be more loose rock gravel. That'll be on those slopes there, as the roads will be groomed and those are well maintained at all times. So, and I added the water pond to the bottom there.
All right, now that I've got the foam work completed and it's dried up pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and grout all these lines here. I'm going to grout all those in, and then use probably end up being the wire brush. It worked better on the other side over there, so I'll come in here and do all those details up. All right, let's get going. 3 spoons of plaster, 2 spoons of hydrocal, and 2 spoons of filler, which is the marble dust. I still got a couple pounds of that left, so I'm trying to get rid of it, get as place as any. Also, what I've done, I'm doing this in separate batches, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, how fast it's going to set up. I'm going to have any difficulties first time trying this. Kept some couple bags here also, because once I'm in here I just want to try to get it done also. But I've cut the tip off to make a grout bag. Basically it's just like cake decorating or whatever, you know, it's just a grout bag. So got me a little water here, so let's clean this place up a little bit so I got room to work.
I'm using a grout bag so I can squeeze into the joints there and try not to get it all over the brick face, you know, or the facing. So it's just try not to smear stuff everywhere. I made the batch kind of really thick peanut butter type also, because I didn't want it to run down the face. I did come back and break up the joints a little bit because they were just too smooth. I waited a little bit too long to strike them off. But in my other experience was, if you get it too short, if you hit it too soon, you make the joints too embedded. So I don't know. I think it's turning out pretty nice now. So I think it'll work. So the foam is just strip pieces that I cut in separate, different widths. I'm trying to make it look like a layering like limestone looks, and I want it to look almost a white, light gray type of limestone. This was really easy to carve. It was just messy, messy, messy. That's about all I can say about that.
Well, from here I'll do a little bit more spotty patchwork and stuff that I can, when I step back, I can see. I'll do a little bit more filling finger work, I guess. Little spots. I don't think it'll really matter too much, but in the end, but just so I don't have to mess with it later, and it'll look really nice. And after that, then I'll paint it and weather. Okay, what I did was made up some India ink and water spray bottle. It goes over this foam pretty good. This I still have to grout in, but I just want to show you guys what I've already painted over here. This is all trial and error, so, but this is pretty diluted. I had it pretty thick before, but after that dries, it comes out not too bad. But what I do is take some white, make sure it's nice and wet. And come in and just start getting down in it. This helps get down in the cracks also, but then it also helps turn it a gray shade. But you can see how that'll turn out once. I still got to grout all the joints and everything, but yeah, it turns out pretty nice that way. I like it. These strata lines here a little bit, breaking them up just a tiny bit. I waited a little bit too long before I scratched that, but it is what it is. It'll come out fine, I'm sure. Time to get some paint on this. What I'm doing is mixing up some white now, some white paint and water, diluted. This is a little darker gray than I want it to be. I'm going to use this to get back in the brush. And we'll use a little bit of more white paint also. This is a dry brush, so it helps when you're working with this surface to have it a really wet brush. And I got a little pewter gray here also. Kind of jumped ahead here. I was experimenting before how I kind of wanted this to look. So that pewter gray and water really goes a long way. I want it more white. And I also want to show the layers. The top layer will be more dirty, more of a brown color, so I'll use a little bit of, just a tiny bit of brown on that upper color there, or on this upper one. Just a hint of brown. I'll come back and do some more dry brushing later, but need some more white here, it looks like. You just want to scrub in. leave it a little darker down below, but we'll weather this out, put some sprays on it and stuff. Spraying on this stuff works really great on the foam, using spray bottles. I've watched videos of guys that use various colors, a lot of black and brown, a hint of green here and there. Now down in here is going to be my rubble pile. I've sprayed this with the spray bottle with the black in it, and you can see how it really discolored it. So if you keep hitting it with the spray bottles, different colors, but it's going to be all based up. I'm going to have it piled up where all this is going to look like it's blasted rock. So all this will be loose rock everywhere. But the base will be nice and smooth. You always keep your base smooth. You don't want to be running over rocks or running into stuff. That's not happening. But so you'll have some bigger rocks that they'll shove off to the side, and you'll have piles of those. They'll just leave those. They won't even mess with it. It's already been blasted. If it's too big, then they won't mess with it. But with this shovel, nothing's too big really. And going into the feeder that they'll have, the cone crusher that they'll have, it'll be just fine. But anyway, that's how I'm kind of doing this. So it's just how you want it to look is all this goes, is how this works. Dry brushing afterwards, or taking an airbrush and lightly misting it of a white color to give it even more of a limestone calcium look. So got into the gray, got into the brown. But anyway, you guys see how I'm gonna kind of do this here. I think it'll turn out pretty cool. I'll come back with a fan brush and some white and give it some more individual layers with there's some fine layers in between limestone. I'll come in and do something like that. I need some more white. There's some. But something like that, it's going to be blasted rock. Now, granted, this is my color experiment. I still may come back and do, which I probably will, come back and I'll probably have to heat a wire to make blast lines in this stuff. Or the end of a popsicle stick, whatever. But anyway, you kind of get what I think that'd look pretty cool, going all the way around the pit here, all the way around the mine. Yeah, I like it.